Welcome to another episode of Mixed Reactions. I am Casey Merritt, joined by Ian Blackwell. We are missing once again Sean Gardner tonight. Sean, we truly hope you can come back soon. Podcast has to carry on regardless. We got a lot of great topics tonight. We're going to dive right into it head first. We're going to start with the NFL. And for whoever listened last week, Ian and I kind of had a little bet going on. We decided we'd pick all through the NFL games, see who had the most right, and kind of tally it up and discuss it on the next show. Ian, that time's officially come. Let's go over these games real quick. We'll see where we landed for the week. We're starting, of course, we had the Thursday night game, the 49ers and the Giants. We both picked the 49ers. Jumping beyond that, the Lions beat the Falcons 20-6, handing the Falcons their first loss of the season, of course. I'm pretty sure we both had Detroit, correct?
Yeah, we both had Detroit, yep.
Both had Detroit. Okay, so this is the first game that we're going to differ on, the Chargers and the Vikings. I thought Minnesota was going to be able to put it together. I thought Brandon Staley would cost them the game. He was actually a tipped interception away from doing so, going for it on that 4th and 1. But the Chargers squeaked away with the victory, so Ian, you take the W on that one. We both picked the Packers over the Saints. That game wasn't looking so hot at first, so Derek Carr went down. Green Bay edged out the win 18-17. Then, obviously, we both had Jacksonville beating the Texans, because who wouldn't have Jacksonville beating the Texans? That went horribly. Speaking of going horribly, we both had the Dolphins beating the Broncos. I don't think either one of us thought it was going to be by 50 points. That was atrocious.
Yeah, they said Mike McDaniels having letting the fans call plays. That's what the running joke was, because that shit was terrible.
He could have had fans calling the plays. That was awful. Something needs to change in Denver. That is for sure. Pretty sure we both had the Browns beating the Titans.
No, you actually picked Titans.
Oh, wow. I picked the Titans. What an idiot I am. Okay, who did you have? Did you have the Browns?
I picked the Brownies, yes, sir.
You picked the Brownies. Okay, and I'm pretty sure we both had the Bills over the Commanders.
Yeah, we both had them.
I picked the Ravens. You picked the Colts, so that's another W for you.
Yes, sir. Chalk another one up.
I mean, most of these are pretty lucky, but that's okay. We both had the Patriots over the Jets. We both had the Seahawks over the Panthers.
Let me see. Patriots. Yep. Seahawks over the Panthers. You're right. Go ahead.
Obviously, we both had the Bears over the Chiefs. That was correct. We both are taking an L here because we both
Wait a minute. Were you being sarcastic? Because we both picked the Chiefs. You were being sarcastic, correct?
I said we both picked the Chiefs, didn't I?
I'm pretty sure you said we both had the Bears over the Chiefs. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, if I did, I didn't mean to. It was a slip of the tongue. Obviously, we both had the Chiefs beating the Bears. We both take a quick L here because we both had the Cowboys beating the Cardinals. And
touch a lot on that.
I'll touch on that later. Steelers beat the Raiders. I'm pretty sure did we differ on that one?
We actually both had the Raiders, so that's both a loss for both of us.
And we both had the Eagles over the Bucks. And this is the lone one.
I had Tampa. Shit, I didn't even realize that. Okay,
you had Tampa. Oh wow. Okay, so there's an L for you. And then you actually took a double L last night then as well because you had the Rams over the Bengals and I chose the Bengals. So currently you're one game up on our bet for the season. We'll continue this every week, see how it goes, and then of course whoever wins at the end of the year, you get to decide what I'm going to do for a week or so. So you're currently up one in that standings. Now, as far as week 3 as a total, both of our teams took L's and they kind of happened in different fashions. Obviously, you're a Rams fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I just want to touch real quick on the Cowboys performance. Mm-hmm. This was a classic Cowboys F game, in my opinion. This is something that happens to them every year. They're favored against a team that they're obviously more talented than, and they just failed to show up. And that's exactly what happened on Sunday. Their defense looked like the defense of last year, I want to say, where their pass rush was still decently there, but they were so easily run upon. They gave up more rush yards and they gave up more points in the first half than they did all the first 2 games combined. They gave up 180 rush yards in the first half of the game. First drive of the game, Josh Dobbs hits him with a quarterback option, gets 42 yards on his run. Not a great performance by Dallas. Their red zone offense continues to struggle. Seems like they might be missing Zeke. He had 12 rushing touchdowns last year. He was a great fit in the red zone. Seems like that's kind of a missing beat for them at the moment. Obviously, they were down 3 offensive linemen. We don't need to dive into that. It's the NFL. It's no excuses. They lost a game to the Cardinals. Am I overly worried? Am I overly concerned? Not really. I still think they're going to have a very solid team. I said at the beginning of the year, I don't think they're true contenders. I think they'll make the playoffs. I'm sticking by that. I think their defense, for the most part, is still going to be ferocious through a great majority of the season. I think a couple games like this will happen, especially now that Trayvon Diggs is out. They're going to be susceptible to a few deep balls. Like, of course, Rondale Moore hit him for a big play in the third quarter of that game. Especially Dallas looks like they were getting some momentum back. They got Arizona to a couple 3-and-outs. They got some field goals. Looks like they were going to make it a close game. They were only down 4 at that point. And then, of course, the first play of that drive, Josh Dobbs hit Rondale Moore on a blown coverage, and he was wide open. Nonetheless, Arizona takes the dub in that one. Good for them. They're showing more than what I thought they would. Of course, they were 0-2. Everyone expected them to be 0-2. Everyone expected them to be 0-3, and that didn't happen. I think Dallas can bounce back against New England. Still going to be a very tough game, I think, especially where Zeke and they have Will Grier on the team, so both former Cowboys, both going to have the ins and outs of that team. I think Dallas will come away with the dub. We'll talk about our picks later on in the show, of course. Ian, I kind of want to hear your thoughts on the Rams. I didn't catch much of that game. I was kind of focusing on Philly and Tampa from my own divisional rank standpoint. What went wrong? Obviously, you guys only lost by 3. I know Jamar Chase had a fantastic game. What was the ins and outs of that game? What cost it for the Rams?
Yeah, man. I think going into the week, I was very. Because we know that my takes for the Rams preseason was definitely a lot less than optimistic. One of the big reasons for me taking the Rams is I feel like the Bengals. Well, they were favored. The Bengals are a good team, but I felt like a lot of it is just because they're the Bengals, and the fact that they've been to the Super Bowl and then they've almost went there last year. It just wasn't what I was expecting to see. Because before this week's game, we go out and trade. I think it was the week before this last game, right? Cam Akers. This would be our first. I don't know remember if we traded him before the 49ers game.
No, it was after. It was after.
Right, it was after. Okay, so it was like right after, because that's when I was like, oh shit, we're trying to get some of those draft picks back, I guess. But when it comes to us though, we just didn't, look our greatest. Stafford threw 2 picks. We don't really have anybody that we're gonna be able to rely on. I don't think consistently in the run. Like, it's gonna be a while till we get solid running back. Williams, 38 yards on 10 carries. Nakua once again showing that he's the best option we have with the option we have with the absence of Cooper Kupp. He had 72 yards, but still Cooper Kupp threw 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow didn't play great either. 26.
Matt Stafford threw 2 interceptions, not Cooper Kupp.
Correct. I miss Coop. But yeah, man, it's just the Bengals look like a team that's ready to start competing in that division. We also had to go on the road. It was a tie game at halftime. Third quarter, we ended up letting them get a touchdown, and then fourth quarter we tried to show a little bit of life, but it just didn't happen. But yeah, no, I don't think it's all that concerning. It's not gonna say I expected it because I picked us to win, but I'm not in the least bit shocked.
Sure.
And then who do we have this week? I believe we have forgot. We're at the Colts, which is one of my upset winners. So we might end up starting the season 2-0, but it wasn't necessarily concerning. Wasn't any red flags. Like we're gonna maybe probably touch on the Dallas game here in a little bit. I do want to bring a friend of mine on who's a Charger fan, and we're gonna get that here in a second because I have a lot to say.
I'd love to hear his take on that game.
Yeah, for me too, because I've been one of the biggest believers in the Chargers. I'm one of the biggest believers in Herbert. But it comes.
I'm a believer in Justin Herbert. I'm not a believer in the Chargers. Brandon Staley makes some irrational decisions at crucial moments in the game, and that could have easily cost them against Minnesota.
Yeah, and the thing about that is, and I'm definitely gonna keep an eye because I just invited him to see if he's gonna join as well. But the announcers were saying, I don't know if it was the announcer or the Red Zone announcers, like, oh, the decision for Brandon Staley to go for a 4th and 3 at their own 30 paid off. It didn't fucking pay off. They got
absolutely didn't pay off.
It got bailed out.
They got bailed out by a double-tipped interception that, quite frankly, T.J. Hawkinson should have caught.
Yeah, and I know people were expecting huge things when he got to Minnesota. But we'll see, man. Because the Vikings now, they're 0-3, and they're going to be playing for desperation. I think they have the Packers this weekend. Let me double check.
No, the Packers have the Thursday night game against the Lions.
Ooh, that's going to be. Because shit. And you got the Bears in that division. So Packers Lions. That's going to go a long way because before the season, I'll kind of just take a little detour here. What would your NFC North power rankings have been? I would have had
I would
probably
have had
Vikings
Detroit.
number one. Really?
Yeah, I'd had Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay, Chicago.
And then, well, Chicago's obviously still number 4. They're fucking dog shit. But what would you have right? What I should say is, where do you think the NFC North is gonna? How do you
So
think it's gonna play out right now? Like,
as far as how the NFC North is going to play out, in my opinion, obviously it's through 3 weeks. So much can change, right? Injuries can happen. Teams can start to take off. Teams kind of find themselves through the first 4 weeks. So it's a very susceptible list. If I was Stephen A. Smith, I'd be like, the list is fluid. The list is fluid, because that's what he always does on Stephen's A list. If I had to rank it right now, Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. I think the Vikings could surpass the Packers at some point throughout the season. So from what you were talking about earlier, Minnesota actually is at Carolina this week. So they're definitely going to pick up the first win of the season, and we'll see what happens from there. Let's see if they can pick up some steam. I think Detroit is clear-cut the best team in that division right now. They're the best coached. I'm not going to say they had the best quarterback in that division. I'm not sure. Every quarterback in that division is so up and down. Jared Goff's the most stable in that division. He feels like he's the most reliable. And that's not even a knock against Kirk Cousins. He's putting up phenomenal numbers.
Y'all hear me? Yeah. No.
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Welcome to Mixed Reactions.
What's up, big dog?
How you doing today, sir? We were actually just discussing your team. Ian was letting me know that you're a Chargers fan. As you join, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but talk about the win on Sunday. What'd you feel about Brandon Staley's coaching decision to go for it on that 4th and 1 at the own 30? Basically, get bailed out by the interception at the end of the game.
Man, we need a new coach. That's all I gotta say. Fuck that.
I've been telling Ian that for 2 weeks.
That nigga, I don't know, bro. Like, who goes for it? This ain't Madden. Who play like what? We ain't in Madden. This is not a game. You want to win the game. Put them as far away from the end zone as you can. Like, what?
No, I agree completely. And it seems like Brandon Staley's putting the Chargers in that position over and over again, causing Justin Herbert to consistently try to bail them out. And of course, not to bring up harsh memories, but you saw what happened against Jacksonville in the wild card game last year. It seems like that's a repetitive thing for the Chargers at this moment, not being able to hang on to that lead. Glad they got the first win of the season, but when you're in a division with Kansas City, you got to make every game count.
Yeah, and it's not even just last year with Jacksonville. It's every year. No matter what coach we got, they always seem to make the same decision. And then Phillip Rivers like to play from come back. No, come on, like lead the game and like leave it where you could go home and eat a fresh meal and be like, I did that. Like, and not be like, they almost got me. Like, no, what?
Like, who likes heart attacks? That's the way I feel about the Chargers.
Exactly.
They must be putting out, as mad as Jason is about his game, me and Jason were also talking about this. How about the Dolphins? God damn.
Man, if we're talking about right now, I don't see anybody stopping Miami. If we're talking about right here, right now, they look like the clear-cut best team in the league. You could argue the 49ers, and I really wouldn't dispute it that much because the 49ers are solid all the way around, of course. But the speed that Miami offense has creates issues for everybody.
That's the biggest problem is there's nobody keeping up with them. Like, there's nobody keeping up.
No, and we didn't even talk about, they didn't even have Jalen Waddle on the field on Sunday.
Yeah, I know. And then they had they had their backup running back hitting 4 touchdowns. Like, what backup running back gets 4 touchdowns in the game? Like,
let's put it like this: that backup running back, I think his name is David Akanye, keeps playing like that.
A-Chain.
Not D-Chain, A-Chain. Thank you. Not going to be a backup much longer. Obviously, Raheem Mostert obviously got 4 touchdowns as well. They were just cooking all the way around.
Yeah,
that was a super impressive game. Tua Tagovailoa, he looks phenomenal. And obviously, everyone's making jokes. He's 1 hit away from retirement. Everyone was criticizing him for even stepping back on the field because of what happened to him last season. But the way he is dialed in right now looks like he is out to prove everybody wrong, and it seems like he's doing that.
Yeah, it does.
For sure. And I think another thing, too, is it's hard for me to argue with your Dolphins take about being the best team in the league. I mean, we know the weapons San Francisco has,
Absolutely.
But I mean, the Dolphins right now just look
stupid
wow.
weapons.
And then they got A-Chain, and then they got Mostert back there. And like you said, Jalen Waddle wasn't even on the field. If they could just keep moving the ball. San Francisco's going to be able to put some stops on them at some point if they somehow link up in the Super Bowl. But, I mean, that offense, I mean, hell, that could be a whole nother conversation, which we won't even open up the can of worms. But who would you rather have, Purdy or Tua? I'd rather have Tua by a mile.
Easily. That's not even a debate.
Yeah.
Tua was the question. That's even no knock against Brock Purdy. Obviously, Brock Purdy's never lost a regular season start. He makes crucial throws when it's needed. But let's not act like he has the talent level that Tua has. And Mike McDaniels looks like he's drawing plays in the sand, and they seem to just be phenomenal. It seems like every concept he comes up with is the perfect play for that moment. And I am so impressed with what I'm seeing through Miami. Now, of course, as we stated, it's 3 weeks into the season. In 3 weeks, they could fall off the face of the earth, and they'd be 3-3, and we'll be talking about what happened to Miami. This is the beauty of the NFL. Take what happened to my Cowboys over the weekend. Coming off beating down the Giants, beating down the Jets, and then just falling flat against the Cardinals. This is the NFL. Anybody can beat anybody on a given day. The Texans just shellacked the Jaguars, so you can't take any team for granted. But if Miami continues on this pace, they're probably going to put up more points than any team ever has.
Yeah, I would definitely second that. And then another thing, too, is they go into Buffalo this weekend, 1 p.m. Eastern slate. So if there was any debate about who the best team in the AFC East is,
we're going to find out on Sunday.
We're going to find out Sunday if that ends in a fucking tie, which ain't going to happen. I mean, I have Miami. I mean, they're 3-0, ain't they? Or no, are they 3-0?
Miami's 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they beat they beat somebody, and then they beat the Patriots, and then they just beat the Broncos. So yeah, they're 3-0, but they're going into Orchard Park, so it's gonna be tough, man. I think this is gonna be one of those games early in the season where we're really gonna find out who's for real. The Raiders go on the road to play the Chargers. Me and Jason were just talking about that earlier. I think that this is gonna be a big game for both teams. Chargers are favored by -5.5. It's at SoFi Stadium, so we all know that's probably gonna be a home game for the Raiders. We'll get into the picks later, but I mean, we have some big games this weekend, and then you guys
extremely big
play
games.
The Patriots.
We're at home versus New England. We need a bounce back game from the abysmal performance we had against the Cardinals. Thankfully, I see that happening. I really don't see 2 flat-footed performances in a row. Hopefully, Tyron Smith gets back on the field. Hopefully, Tyler Biadasz gets back on the field, and hopefully, of course, the all-pro guard and Zach Martin gets back on the field. That's going to be tremendous for our offense. I truly hope that can take place. But at the same time, Dallas's offensive woes are coming back to haunt them. And I think they're going to be regretting letting go of Ezekiel Elliott at some point, especially now. Their red zone offense just can't seem to get it together. They were 2-6 against the Jets. They were even worse than that against the Cardinals. Of course, Dak threw his first pick of the year. So I truly, truly hope we can get our offense together. If we can get our offense together, we should beat New England by 10-14 because they don't have any outside offensive weapons that scare me. Ramondre Stevenson's a decent running back. He's very, very serviceable is the best way to put it. I don't see him breaking off like James Conner brought off. So I definitely see Dallas coming away with a win this weekend.
How many sacks you think Dallas getting?
With that offensive line, 5+.
Yeah, I think Mac Jones going down, like low key. Like I think their passing game is going to be a little off. They're going to have to run, and then that's going to get stopped. Micah Parsons, that nigga nasty.
Micah Parsons is a different beast. He struggled a little bit on Sunday. He did get 1 sack against Josh Dobbs, but Arizona played Micah Parsons the exact way you need to play him. They ran the football directly at him, limiting his versatility. That's the way you need to play him. If you let him get out in that open, you let him rush the quarterback, your quarterback is done for.
Yeah. Okay, I know what to tell the Chargers when they play them. No, I'm just kidding.
I think you guys do play.
That's all going to
Dallas
depend if Austin
this
Eckler's
year.
back by then.
Right.
Josh Kelly ain't going to do it to him.
Nah, but yeah, I think there's a lot of talent going around this year, though.
There certainly is. And I don't know if you guys heard the rumors. Dallas contacted Atlanta to try to trade for Kyle Pitts because Atlanta is misusing that man. He is a
Who's your guys'
super
tight end right
freak
now?
athlete. Jake Ferguson, who's been serviceable. He's been fine,
Uh-huh.
but he's no Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts is the quarterback or what?
Tight end. He's a tight end for the
tight end?
Falcons.
Oh.
He was a major freak in college. Like he played for the University of Florida. Absolutely phenomenal. Tremendous athlete, but I think not the Cardinals. I'm sorry, the Falcons are just misusing him at the moment.
Yeah,
and
I think the Falcons are misusing a lot of people.
You're not wrong.
I'm on the phone.
One thing I wanted to ask Merritt though is I know we were talking kind of about how because I know it's different. The Celtics and the Cowboys. The Celtics are always favored preseason. Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl since right after I was born. But do you get the same? Because I know you said the Celtics, nothing they do in the regular season can convince you until they could do it in the playoffs. Do you feel the same way about your Cowboys too? I've been interested to hear your take on that.
No, I don't. The reason I don't feel similar in this aspect regarding that. There's only 17 games that your team plays in the regular season opposed to 82 for the NBA. And so every game in the regular season almost feels like an event. It feels like a spectacle. And every game truly matters, especially divisional standings. So every game truly
hit me when I was at Alex's house.
But if you're talking about does every game mean the end of the world? No, it doesn't as far as the Cowboys, just because when you're truly sitting down watching your team when they get that dub, it means more in the regular season for an NFL than it does in the NBA.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think the NBA too, you can pace yourself a lot more. You can't really pace yourself in the NFL. You lose three. If
absolutely.
you start 0-3, you can't.
You're done.
But
basically,
one thing I want to say to Jason though, because I know he's been talking hella shit about it. How you doing in fantasy over there, bud? Just let us hear it.
I'm chilling. I'm kicking.
He's been blowing everybody out.
Yeah,
blowing everybody out. I have Dallas's defense. They didn't do me no favors. Thankfully, I won this past weekend.
Ian's probably gonna be my biggest competition, low-key, because
that's what he was telling me
every week. Yeah, every week it's like his team just be coming out of nowhere with some all-star. Yeah, like some all-star stats and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this week, I had it in the bag. I had 168. He was at like 150. And I was like, oh, I'll be in first place. This nigga came and got 170. I was like, oh, he beat me. But I still won. But like the standings, he got the most points in the week. I was like, damn, I thought I was.
Yeah, I didn't join any actual fantasy league this year. When it comes to fantasy, I just play DraftKings. And so that to me kind of gets every game, make sure it really means something, especially when you have some money on the line. Mm-hmm. So I normally do join a fantasy league, just didn't really feel up to it this year. I normally place pretty well. Ian will be the first one to tell you, I know my NFL. I can pretty much speak it pretty thoroughly in a sense. So I have that on lock as far as fantasy aspects, but DraftKings is so different, man. It's a different beast. Anybody can pop off.
See, I don't even really follow football like that, but it's kind of easy when you actually start having a league in it and stuff.
Yeah,
you start actually paying attention and stuff.
Oh, of course, because when you're actually in a league, and say someone like you said you're not really that into football, but when you have a league, it gets you more into it because it actually means something. You want to track your players, you want to see how they're doing. It's a pride thing. You want to win your league.
Yeah, that's true too.
Speaking of pride, well, we could talk about prime pride. How about them Oregon Ducks putting the shillelagh on the fucking Buffaloes, 42-6. It wasn't even that close. It was like 42-0 at like in the third quarter.
Ian, I'm gonna revert back to our show from last week. What did I tell you about Colorado?
You got other stuff?
They're not there yet, and it showed it on Saturday. And I'll say it just as beautifully as the head coach at Oregon. They're playing for clicks. We're playing for wins. They shellacked them. They were better in every single aspect of that game. I told you, and I know you agreed with me, but I first said it. Colorado's not there yet. They're going to get beat down by USC this Saturday, too. I know you're happy about that, especially that shaky-ass performance you had against Arizona State. But you're going to rebound heavy this week. Caleb Williams is going to shred that defense. I see USC by 40.
They lost their like star cornerback or something, right? Like
Hunter. I think he might be coming back.
He's not. No, Travis Hunter's not coming back. Not for this game.
He's coming back at some. Oh, okay, not for this game. Oh, okay. But yeah, you look at the Ducks, man. 522 yards of total offense, and I went with Oregon minus 31. Like I said, I threw some other dumbass games on a parlay that I shouldn't have. I knew you even watched the first play of the game, and I was just like, oh yeah, it was just easy for Bo Nix. It was the same thing like you were saying. When Mike McDaniel's drawing plays in the sand against Denver for the Dolphins. It's like anything they did work. It was 35-0 at halftime. Bo Nix, I think, needs to be shown a little bit more appreciation. 276 yards passing. I think he should go right back into because they didn't need to really try to do too much passing later on in the.
They didn't have to.
Yeah, they were already. It was up 35-0 at halftime, 42-0 going. I'm shocked that the Buffaloes got 6. I thought that they were really gonna put it on them, but yeah, man, it was just a step up in class. Like you said, we had a really shaky performance against Arizona State. I don't know what the fuck his first name is, but this dude named Scattaboo was doing like everything for Arizona State. I think he threw a touchdown pass. Or not a touchdown pass. He did like a fake and he threw that. He was running, but we're not gonna.
Could you imagine right now being a Colorado? Like a resident of Colorado, being a Colorado sports fan.
Yo, are we live?
Yeah, kind of.
What's up, Sean?
I heard Colorado sports fan. Look, sorry, it's been a busy day, guys. I had to come on the show because I know you guys.
Welcome to Mixed Reactions, the co-host Sean Gardner. Where have you been, brother?
Man, I've been a busy man, but. After a 70-20 beatdown, I feel like I had to come on the show. There's no way I could not.
We touched on it briefly, but we're gonna cut everything real quick. Sean, cook the Broncos, please.
I'm putting myself on mute because I want to hear you're saying. Just use as many cuss words as possible.
Go off, dude. I know you want to go off.
Sean Payton is tanking. He is tanking to get Caleb Williams. He is doing this on purpose. If you go back and look at an interview, between Sean Payton and Colin Cowherd, Sean Payton says that Caleb Williams is a once-in-a-lifetime player. He's a rare person. He even said that... Sorry, I want to make sure I get it right now. He said...
I'm looking it up, too.
Yeah, no, look up the interview. Sean Payton, Colin Cowherd. Okay, it's one of the top ones. If you actually Google the shit, like Google Sean Payton, Colin Cowherd, it'll be the very first video, guaranteed. But no, he said that he would tank. He basically said that the NFL is going to have a lottery like the NBA does, because Caleb Williams is going to ruin that because teams are going to tank for Caleb Williams. And I think that's what Sean Payton is doing. I think that's why he hired Vance Joseph. Vance Joseph is not qualified to be the Broncos coach after what happened in Arizona. There is no reason that he should be the Broncos defensive coordinator at all. And there is no other defensive coordinator in this world, if it weren't for Vance Joseph and Sean Payton's plan that I think that he's developing here. Any other defensive coordinator would be gone if they got 70 points scored on them. I think this is all happening on purpose, guys. I'm not joking. I'm being 100% fucking serious.
Oh, I believe
I think they are losing on purpose.
Are you okay with it?
Oh, I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right.
There's
no other way I can, because you can't go from being as decent as they were last year.
You gonna get some or what?
You can't go with Sorry, I thought you were saying something.
No,
you can't go back and be, have them be as good as they were last year on defense and have them be this bad and get 70 points scored on. No team transforms that bad. I feel like Sean Payton knew that Vance Joseph wasn't that good of a defensive coordinator. They have no type of past relationship. If you look at their history, I don't think they've ever coached together. I feel like he is a part of this crazy scheme of Sean Payton to get Caleb Williams. I'm serious. Look up that interview between him and Colin Cowherd.
Let me ask you a follow-up question.
In hindsight,
for that.
It's crazy.
Let me ask you a follow-up question real quick then. If that is the case, and you 100% could be right, because that makes entirely too much sense why that would happen.
It's
why
the shit
not
people
bench
don't
Russell
ever
Wilson?
think about. Why not bench Russell Wilson?
Ideally,
you don't want to make it look
bench him because
because exactly.
Yes,
no, Ian's right there. You don't want to make it look obvious because it's frowned upon to get tanked. Sean Payton is trying to do this in a sneaky way. Because, like I said, he said that I can't say this enough. He said that there is going to be a lottery soon. He predicts it because Caleb Williams is a player worth tanking for. And that is exactly what he is doing. He is mimicking his plan. He gave it all away 9 months ago, whenever the hell that interview was.
Now, I have a question as well. Do you think that, because I think we all, the Broncos were kind of a wild card this year. We didn't really know what was going to happen. But I think come second quarter of that game, I think he had just I've given up on the season. I've never seen a team go from a kind of question mark to hands down the worst team in the league throughout 30 minutes of football. And like you said, it's going to make it too obvious if he goes out there and benches Russell Wilson. But we got to remember, Sean Payton isn't the greatest at hiding things. He's not very slick because he got suspended a year for Bountygate. So, yeah, I don't know, man. There probably is some truth to it. I wouldn't doubt it. It's the NFL. At the end of the day, it's a business. And Sean Payton knows that in this first year, the dude still has a Super Bowl. He's not going to get fired after 1 year.
Well,
so
here's
why
the
not
thing.
just play like shit?
Sean, if this happens on Sunday, I will start to come around on that point. If you guys lose to the Bears, that's when the alarm bells are going to go off.
Tank Bowl.
Yeah.
If you guys lose to the Bears, that's and you're right, because Caleb Williams could be a once in a lifetime generational talent. Every sign points to him being so. So as a Broncos fan, if this is what's happening, you're okay with it? You're okay with sacrificing this season?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm getting so sick of just being mid for since Super Bowl 50? So
since Peyton left, yeah.
Yeah, since Peyton left. So since 2016. I'm getting so sick of just being a mid team. I would definitely just sacrifice this year. We weren't going to win the Super Bowl anyway. So just fucking go 0-17 if you have to. I'll be the first team ever to go 0-17 if that means we get Caleb. I don't care. Go ahead and do it. I hope I'm right.
No, and if you are, this is a diabolical plan. So if this is true, it has to be Sean Payton and upper management involved, because there's no way that Broncos upper management wouldn't fire Sean Payton for going 0-17 unless that's the plan. You know what I mean?
Unless that's the plan. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I feel like when it comes to a tank, there's got to be players involved somehow.
Obviously, Russ doesn't know.
Yeah, no, Russ doesn't know.
Russ isn't letting anybody just take his job.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And
there could be players on the defense that know. That could have been why there was such a lack of effort. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. It's hard for me because those dudes are still playing for pride, man. It's just
they might be playing
go and give up 70.
Though. That's what I'm saying.
You still got to play the Chargers twice, and the Raiders twice, and the Chiefs twice.
That's true. I don't know. There's so many.
What made you think of this, Sean? What made you think of it where it's like, oh, that's actually a realistic possibility? Because I remember talking to you after the Raiders game week 1. You directly said that Broncos' issue is the defense. And obviously that was the case on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, I got friends in Bronco Nation, talking. They say interesting things. I got a good buddy of mine, and he sent me a text, Monster. That's his gamer tag. That's the homie. He sent me a text of that Sean Payton interview. Now, I don't know. Sometimes, people say crazy things. I'm not really big on conspiracies all the time. So, at first, I was kind of like, there's no way teams would never tank. But I don't know. The more the season goes on, if you look at that video and watch the interview, if you just look at all the evidence around it, it just seems like that's the case. It's kind of crazy to say that I've turned toward this belief because I was always like an anti-tanker believer. Like, there's no way an organization would tank. But I do feel like there have been stranger things that have happened in this league.
Agreed.
Ian, you mentioned Bountygate. And all it takes is one person and a few other people to hop on board to say, hey, let's do it.
No, I actually completely agree. It's a very plausible thought. Now, flip it 180, right? And say the Broncos, that's not what they're doing. In your eyes, say they are still trying to compete, they're still trying to go for wins. Is it even worth it for the Broncos at this point?
No.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, no, if you're losing 70-20,
Now,
I think it's time to just take the L's, boys.
And then what I was saying too,
trade everybody too.
That kind of goes back to it. It's like, you could try your damnedest, but you could still play. You still have to play the Chargers twice. You still have to play the Raiders twice. You still have to play the Chiefs twice. So you could give the old college try and still go fucking 6-11. Which, I mean, at that point, there's no benefit to it. Now, getting the guys to buy in on defense. Now that I think about it, I guess it make a little sense. Like, hey man, we know we have talent, but offense can't do shit. So let's just go let these motherfuckers put up 70. Let's kill the morale of the entire team. Maybe, but it's a slippery slope still. I mean,
like I said,
0-17.
If you guys lose to the Bears on Sunday, I'm with you. If you guys lose to the Bears, I'm with you. I agree. If that happens,
you're with Bronco Nation on that. There's a few. I've looked on Twitter too to see other people, and like me and Monster aren't the only ones who have thought about that.
Okay.
It's like all.
So what you're saying is Russell Wilson is going to be the quarterback of the Washington Commanders next year.
I mean, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with Russell Wilson. Honestly, I'd be down with fucking Russell Wilson starting next year, and this would never happen. But I would start Russell Wilson next year and sit Caleb on the bench.
That seems to be the go-to for making. Yeah, develop him. Yeah.
Go the Green Bay Packer route. Russell Wilson could be Mr. Miyagi.
I mean, we've seen the success the Packers have had with letting guys sit on the bench. I mean, I think there's a fine line because I think, if you put the rookie in right away, you put a lot of pressure on him. But then the second he gets off the bench, people are going to be expecting, okay, he's had all this time to develop. And then I don't think they're going to give him as much leeway. I say bring Caleb in right away. I don't think Russell has the locker room.
Russell Wilson,
he definitely doesn't.
No, he does. He definitely doesn't have the locker room. That's true. And there would be conspiracy. But my thing with Russell Wilson is, if this is all true, I feel bad for him because he is playing really well. Too. He's playing really well.
He's having a bounce back season. It's not like he's having MVP, like let him cook Russ type numbers, but he's playing fine.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
He's playing
fine. Let Russell Wilson retire on a good season. And just bring in the rookie.
The thing, Sean, you kind of blew my mind with your take.
Nah, I know. It blows my mind. I believe it, man. So trust me, I get it. It adds up.
No, it all adds up because obviously Miami's offense has looked phenomenal the first 3 games. Throughout the whole, no one's going to dispute that.
Yeah.
But 70, that doesn't happen.
Wait until you watch that interview too. Your mind will be blown even more.
And
but go ahead, Merritt.
I was going to say, what you guys were saying with giving quarterbacks leeway and the expectations, I think it would be best for Caleb Williams maybe to start right away. I think with that generational talent level that's expected of him, I feel with that, he'll get a little bit more leeway and won't feel the pressure right away necessarily because people are going to be like, oh, wait till he comes around. Wait till he comes around. Yeah. It's not going to be an instantaneous thing where they need him to jump the gates and be Patrick Mahomes.
Fair. Yeah.
Now, going to what Jason was saying, though, about kind of let him, retire on a good note, I don't think if he – and even if they end 500, I think if Russell Wilson has a good season and they win a decent amount of games, I don't know. I don't see the Broncos seeing it like that because I think that he I think they're just gonna. I don't know about sabotage Russ, but I mean they're sabotaging that team because I don't see. Yeah. We Sean's gone here talk before about how bad the Broncos, but 70 points. Like, what the fuck, dude? I don't know. I just think Russell Wilson. But the thing with Russell Wilson, though, man, it's like, how old is he now? Like 35? He's still won a Super Bowl. He's had success in the NFL. So if you're going to tank, my thought would be you have a Sam Howell on your team or you have a Josh Dobbs on your team. But if you're trying to tank to, when you still have Russell Wilson, who's still serviceable, even at this, not even serviceable, he could be good at this age, more than just serviceable. I think it's kind of hard to do that for a guy that's, regardless of what Sean Payton said, it's still an unknown. I mean, hell, there's been guys who have been expected to be big things: basketball, baseball, football, the next so and so, and so you're gonna throw Russell Wilson away for that. But he also doesn't have the locker room. So I think that's another big thing as well. I think Caleb Williams would be a breath of fresh air in Denver. He'd be a shiny new toy for Sean Payton, as opposed to Russell Wilson, who, seems, I don't know him personally, but, it seems like he's very much so set in the way he does things now. He's not going to be as coachable as a young Caleb Williams. Like Sean, same thing with Andy Reid when he got Mahomes. Like, oh man, wait till you see what I could do with this guy. Same thing with Caleb.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. He would definitely be you're right. He would be a breath of fresh air, which is why I'm perfectly fine with it. I was not kidding when I said if we go on 17, that's cool with me. I would definitely take a season just to.
Now, obviously,
it's crazy if it's. Go ahead.
You're okay with it as far as the future and what it could pertain to and the success it could lead for the Broncos. Sure. Let me ask you this, just as a Broncos fan, of course, and as just a football fan in general. Does it damper your NFL watching experience for this season directly?
No, because it's kind of entertaining in a weird way. Because I'm really curious to see if this crazy conspiracy that my buddy came up with is true. If it's true, then my mind will be absolutely fucking blown. Because how often, guys, have we talked about, would you give up a season just to get the number one pick, or would you And this actually,
yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%, and that makes total sense. So I'm happy for you in that instance where it's not going to ruin your NFL watching, experience, because we've all had experiences before with our teams where within the first couple weeks of the season, it's like, shit, this season's over already. I had all this hype for past 7 months for nothing. So I'm happy that you're looking at it that way. But say it comes this Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tough wire game with the Bears. Say you guys are going into overtime. Are you rooting for the Broncos to get the win? Like, are you going to be torn?
Yeah, at this point, I want them to lose every single game. I want them to lose every single game. Do whatever it takes to get the number one pick.
They need to have a lottery. I mean, the thing is, the NBA lottery is so criticized as it is, though, because people want to say, oh, we'll just make the two worst teams play whoever wins gets the first pick. That doesn't eliminate the fact that the two teams are going to be playing like shit all season and then try in one game. Like, that's not that exciting to me. Like, I don't know, man. The draft system it's hard because you can't give the fucking Chiefs you can't obviously give the favorite the number one pick, but how do you stop saying maybe we do need a lottery? Because I think it's just so much more exhausting to watch in football, because like Merritt was saying, I think before you joined, every weekend, every game is like an event. And to watch a team for the one time you get to watch them that week after having to deal with all the bullshit for the week, you just watch them try to lose. I think it's just so much more unentertaining to watch than basketball. When basketball, it's funny seeing a guy throw the ball off the other guy's head when they won 3 games and lost 80. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Yeah. Football, they need to do something about that. Maybe a lottery, but then, hell, but think about it, though. The lottery doesn't even stop teams from tanking in basketball. I mean, because any one of the top 5 picks are going to be decent. They're not going to be Caleb Williams, but they're going to be decent.
Absolutely.
Anyways, I didn't mean to jump in onto.
No, I'm so happy you did.
Yeah. Yeah. No. But no, you guys got the agenda today. I don't know what's on board, so yeah, I'll let you guys.
I'll let you know. Hold on. Before
you got something else. All
right. As you were joining in, Sean, we were talking about Colorado and how they got absolutely shellacked by Oregon. And I know you missed a show last week, Sean. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it. A point that I was making to Ian was we were hyped about Colorado, but I was telling him I don't think they're there yet. And so this Saturday kind of proved that point where they got beat down by Oregon. I think they're going to get beat down by USC again this weekend. And literally, as you were joining, I was making a comparison how it must feel to be a Colorado native right now that's a Colorado fan and a fan of the Broncos. You had a miserable football weekend, and that Denver Nuggets championship kind of looks like a distant memory at this point.
Well, let me tell you. I can tell you because that sounds exactly like being a Michigan State Spartan football fan and a Denver Broncos fan.
Yeah,
And
you guys had a rough one, too, and you were at the game, weren't
pretty
you?
miserable. The last two games, the Washington game and the last game.
Damn.
Oh, my goodness, man.
Damn.
I have seen a lot of blowouts this early in the football season. I'm about ready for basketball. I'm ready to – I think who we played the first game, Hillsdale. I've never been more hyped for a game versus Hillsdale College.
Who the hell is Hillsdale? Oh, basketball?
I have no idea. Yeah, basketball.
I mean,
Michigan State's going to win that by 40.
I have Michigan State winning it all this year. They got Xavier Booker. They're winning that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Michigan State. I mean, Michigan State is just so. I mean, that's kind of getting off topic.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to
never
get
count
too
Tom
off
Izzo
topic,
out.
but yeah.
I never count Tom Izzo out.
I mean, we
That-
brushed
that
on my
conversation will
Cowboys.
That conversation will come. Forgive me.
Yeah. We talked about the Chargers. We talked about the
Yep.
Cowboys. We ain't talked about the Rams and how garbage they are.
No, we did before you got on the show.
Yeah, we talked
Oh.
about it before you got on the show, Jason. Ian's been down on his Rams all year, so he's not surprised by this 1-2 start. Obviously, I was shocked that Dallas lost to Arizona. I was not a happy guy starting that night. I was not a happy man.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised they lost too because the week before or whatnot, that nigga Micah, that nigga was going off. He couldn't get stopped from getting to the quarterback. So like the fact that they lost this one, like whoa.
It happens. They were down 3
Sean,
offensive
I'm
linemen.
glad you're here too because last week Ian and I we started a new thing here on Mixed Reactions, and obviously you as one of the traditional co-hosts, you're going to be back on the show now. We make our picks for each week of the upcoming season. Ian currently up 1 game on me. He had one more right than I did this week. Sean, you interested in joining and making some week 4 picks?
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up the schedule.
Yeah.
Here.
I should do that too.
And Jason is our guest picker this week.
What's up, Jason? I feel like
What's
I've
up,
talked
big
to you.
dog?
He
I feel
call
like
everybody
we've,
big dog. Let me tell you a story. I was on the phone with this fool one time, and I must have heard him call 30 people big dog in like a 20-second time. What's up, big dog? Hey, what's up, big? I'm like,
Hey, it's a term of endearment, man. It's a good blessing. I mean, Ian, 9 times out of 10, especially when you call me or any of my friends, I answer like, "What a bitch."
right. It's a term of endearment. All right, let me pull the week 4 games up. We gonna go.
I got it right here, boys. I'll go through the schedules. We'll all make our picks. So Thursday night, we're starting off in Lambeau Field with a rematch of Week 18 between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. I'll make the first pick here. I'm gonna roll with the Lions.
Who you got, Sean? I'll go last. We'll go KC, Sean, then Jason, then me.
This can be a good game. Any Lions fans that listen are going to hate me, but I think the Packers are going to win a really close game.
Okay, Sean's got the Packers.
Who you got, Jason?
I'm gonna have to go with the Lions. I think the Lions got that one. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be close, but I think the Lions gonna pull it out.
I don't know, man. We learned something about the Packers. I mean, well, Derek Carr got hurt, but it's in Lambeau. Shit. Give me the Lions. All right, what we got next, Merritt? Oh, wait, Falcons, Jaguars.
We all did our picks. What we got next? We got
Falcons,
a London
Jaguars.
game this week, fellas. We got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Jacksonville, second home, the UK. Give me the Jags. Give me the Jags. I think they have a bounce back.
This is a tough game.
It's Jags.
I think you're right, though. I think the Jags will bounce back after a brutal beatdown last week.
By the Texans, nonetheless. Jesus.
Jaguars versus Falcons, Jason. I heard you like.
Yeah.
It's in London.
Jaguars.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Jaguars.
See, that one for me, I'm like, shit, because it's like minus.
I picked the Jaguars because of what we said earlier. The Falcons don't know how to use anybody.
That's true.
So yeah, I got fucking the Jaguars.
All right, Merritt, what's the next game?
Did you make your pick yet, Ian?
Oh,
Yeah, you
Jaguars.
did.
Sorry,
Jaguars. Next game, we got Ian's LA Rams traveling to Indianapolis to face the Colts. Give me the Colts.
Give me the Colts too.
Yeah, give me the Colts. They played well against the Ravens.
They did. They beat him.
Pittman looks good.
He does. Michael Pittman looks like a beast.
Who you
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Colts. The Rams ain't doing nothing this year.
So we all got
Next-
Colts then.
We're all in agreement on the
Yeah.
Colts. Next game, we have the Baltimore Ravens traveling to their former home to play the Cleveland Browns. Give me the Ravens in a bounce back.
Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. Give me the Browns.
The Browns got.
They just lost
Lamar
Nick
Jackson.
Chubb. But yeah,
Yeah, I think. What was the other team? Not the Browns.
Ravens,
The
Browns.
Ravens.
Oh yeah, Ravens. Yeah, I think Lamar's gonna come back and have a good game.
wait, so Sean said the Browns, Merritt said Casey said
The Ravens.
the Ravens. Jason said the Ravens. I've got the. This is gonna be tough, man. I mean, they did look straight up dominant against Tennessee this weekend. The Browns did. No Nick Chubb. Maybe it is a bounce back spot for the Ravens. The game is going to be in Baltimore or in Cleveland.
It's in
sorry.
Cleveland.
Yeah, right. Give me the dog pound. I'm rolling with the Browns.
The dog pound. Woof, woof. Okay. Next
Woof,
game.
woof, woof.
Next game, we got the Vikings and the Panthers. Give me the Vikings to get their first win of the season.
I think you're right. Panthers are kind of dog shit.
Yeah,
They are.
Yeah, that's what
There's no kinda about it. The Panthers are dog shit.
Yeah, the Panthers are.
They're on the
So,
come
yeah, I
up. Though.
got-
They're on the come up. Trust the
Okay, yeah,
process.
I got Vikings.
All right, me too. I think we've all got Vikings. So the next game on the slate is going to be Bengals at Titans.
Give me the Bengals.
Bengals.
Yeah, I got Bengals.
Go
I'm
Titans,
gonna roll
though.
with the Titans. I mean, they've looked really bad this year, but I think that they might bounce back. They did beat the Chargers. They showed that
Okay.
they can win close games. The Bengals, I
Well,
think, are still.
Ian's got
right
one
in the
wrong
mix.
already.
All right, and then the next game, go ahead, Merritt. What we got next? I think
Next
I know.
game. Next game, we got Bucks Saints. This is tough because it all depends on the health of Derek Carr. I really feel that. Obviously we don't know yet, and we still got to make our picks. So, give me the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm going Tampa Bay.
Who's the Tampa Bay's quarterback?
Baker.
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, Baker Mayfield. Actually,
Yeah.
he did look nice
Right,
this
Mahomes.
last weekend. So.
Yeah, Baker can ball.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just go with them because I don't think the Saints really have anybody besides David Carr or whatever. So,
Derek Carr.
Derek.
So next game, this is the 1 o'clock
I got
game
Bucks
of the
Bucks
year
as
so
well.
far.
Wanted to point
You
that out.
got
sorry, I
Bucks?
didn't This is the 1 o'clock game of the year so far. Dolphins at Bills. I know we've been hyping up the Dolphins,
The Dolphins.
but give
Dolphins.
me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Ooh, who you got, Sean?
It's in Buffalo. I'm going with the Bills.
Me and Jason rolling with the Dolphins. I don't think they're beating the Dolphins this weekend. If they're gonna get stopped, it ain't gonna be this weekend. It is gonna be in Buffalo. Wait, hold on. Jason, Sean. Oh, wait, Sean said Bills. Merritt or Casey said Bills. Me and Jason said the Fins. Okay.
Yeah,
Now-
I think Dolphins. Yeah.
Next
No.
1 o'clock game,
Uh-huh.
we have the Denver Broncos versus the Chicago Bears, otherwise known as the Caleb Williams Bowl.
The Caleb.
Give me the Broncos.
Give me the Bears.
I know that hurt your heart a little bit, Sean. I know it.
Hey, I just said I hope they lose every single game. So
Sean's rolling with the Bears.
Yeah, I'll go with the Bears.
Yeah, I got the Broncos as well. I think they're gonna be. The Bears are terrible. I mean, so are the Broncos, but even though it's in Chicago, I think they're gonna be throwing trash at Justin Fields by halftime. Give me the Broncos.
Hey,
So
that nigga
is-
Justin Fields is trash though.
Yes, he is.
There's a bunch
That
of one
nigga
o'clock
is
games.
trash.
Commanders, Eagles.
so is Vance Joseph's defense. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Commanders, Eagles. Give me the Eagles.
Commanders, Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles. Fly, Philly, fly.
I hate the Eagles so much.
I got Eagles.
Your turn, Ian. Yeah, everybody got Eagles.
Steelers, Texans. Give me the Steelers.
Yep.
Steelers, Texans. Yeah, Steelers.
I'm rolling
Yeah,
Texans.
Ian's got 2 wrong. All right.
We'll see, motherfucker. We saw what happened this past weekend.
Raiders, Chargers. This kicks off the 4:00 slate. Give me the Chargers.
I'm going with my team.
He's a Chargers fan.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm sorry to hear about that, bud.
I know we need some new coaches.
Yeah,
Who you
probably
guys
the
trying?
Chargers. Probably the Bolts.
For the Bolts. And then I'm guessing we're all going to be in agreement on this, although I don't know about anymore.
Hey
But
man, I get to make
Cardinals,
picks anymore?
49ers. Give me the 49ers.
Oh,
I got the
49ers.
Raiders in that game.
Oh, you got the Raiders. Oh, wow. I think
Oh,
it's the
you got
Chargers.
the
Okay.
Raiders?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Raiders pull it off.
Damn,
It's gonna be
okay,
a
my bad. I thought you
home
said
game in
Chargers.
LA. No, you're good. I was kind of contemplating. I was just fucking with you. But what was the
Hey,
next
the
game?
That was a tough
Raiders.
game.
The Raiders only got 2 players though.
It's gonna be a close game.
Next game, Cardinals, 49ers. I know the Cardinals coming off that big win against Dallas, but give me the 49ers.
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 You got that fire in your gut? Nah, I'm rolling 49ers, dude.
Next game, the New England Patriots at my Dallas Cowboys. Give me the boys.
Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys.
Mac Jones ain't that guy. I'm rolling Cowboys as well. Although I do think this might be a little closer than the Cowboys are either going to blow their ass out or the Patriots are going to win a close one. But I think it's going to be Cowboys blowing their ass out, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We at prime time yet? Is that the Chiefs Jets? Is that the next game?
Primetime game. Yes, sir. Primetime game is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Jets. Give me the Chiefs in a route. In an absolute route.
Yeah, I'll take the Kansas City Swifties.
The Kansas City Swifties, he says.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs, bro. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's so tough. It's gonna be in New York. They're
Okay,
gonna.
Ian's going with the Chiefs.
This nigga.
I don't know, man. Is Patrick Mahomes' mom gonna be? Is Mrs. Kelsey gonna be there? Because Zach Wilson might play pretty good if she is. Nah, give me the Chiefs blowout.
They could suit up Patrick Mahomes' mom as quarterback. They'd still win.
Yeah. Damn.
And then Monday night game,
Shit,
Seahawks,
that burnt me.
Giants. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks.
Yeah, Seattle.
I don't know, man. And since the last game, I'll just take a second mulling this one over, and I have the fortune of being the last one to pick. I don't know, man. The Giants, they got blasted by the Cowboys. They came back to beat the trash ass Cardinals, and then they played a tough Niners team on Thursday night. Granted, they didn't look that great. It's in New York. Shit. Give me the Giants.
Give me the Giants. Okay.
Wait, what?
I could see that one going either way. That's a toss-up game. I could see the Giants coming out on that one. But
Yeah.
Gut says Seattle.
Kenneth
Yeah.
Walker.
All right. That is going to be the slate. Let me just save this so I don't delete a draft again. Hold on.
Presented by. Oh shit, we don't got a sponsor yet.
Yeah, no. That's not actually our sponsor. I just said it so it sounded official.
So
Alright.
sound official.
So one thing I did want to briefly touch on before we're only an hour in, but we'll get into the question here in a little bit. We haven't really talked very much basketball. We're all big basketball fans here. I know Jason, that's probably his number one sport. What I wanted to kind of touch on, this is going to be Giannis's LeBron year, meaning next year we're going to have to see where the hell he goes. I'm going to start with Jason, because here I'm just going to give you a bit of the prospects to the teams he might go to: the Pelicans, Raptors, Nets, Knicks, and Warriors. Where do you think Giannis ends up? Or do you think he stays in Milwaukee?
Damn, that's hard because, to be honest, it might be like some LeBron shit where he goes and gets another player or two, and then they stay hidden and like pick a team. So, but I see a lot of hype around Golden State. I see. I don't see no hype around Knicks, so I doubt that one.
Mhm.
But then again, I could see him going to the Knicks and playing with Julius Randle and fucking what's his name? The lefty, the other lefty, Jalen Brunson. There we go. So that would be a nasty team. Uh, it's up for debate, bro. I don't know. That's a hard one because niggas be on the split decisions on basketball.
Now the thing about that is the Knicks, the New York market is always, and Giannis, he's a very loyal person. He seems like he loves Milwaukee, but that New York market is something different, especially if you're playing for the Knicks. Might even be more pressure than if you're playing for the I think Lakers a little bit more pressure just because of how much they've won, and LA is still a huge market. But you have just a list of some of the guys who are going to be unrestricted in 2024. You have Pascal Siakam, Buddy Hield, Klay Thompson. Does he leave the Splash Brothers? I doubt it. But I mean, there's gonna be some guys that they could either bring to Milwaukee if they can free up some roster space, or they can go join them somewhere else. If I had to take my pick, it might be the Knicks. They're building a solid core with Brunson. Will Randall be around? Will they try to do something with him before then? Who knows? But it's going to be interesting, man. I think Golden State is something that we all want to see. We want to see him playing with Steph, but I mean, he's
I don't
not. You don't want to see him. Why not?
because nigga, I want it to be that nigga is already dominant and Steph is dominant himself. Like that's just two dominant forces. Like there's no David versus Goliath. It's just
Eh, I
Goliath versus Goliath.
Now I disagree just because of the
Because
fact that I don't think that they really complement. What you're saying is you think they're going to roll over everybody. That's what you think they're just going to roll through everybody. Is that what you're
no,
getting?
I think Golden State is a good franchise to the point where they get their team to play together no matter what.
Hmm.
Because if you look at it, like they got Steph and Clay to play as shooters because that's what they do, but they both got them their shots. And then
Hmm.
Draymond, he's the facilitator basically because he's the IQ nigga. So like when you put Giannis in there, all you gotta really do is have him in the post or play at the top and just kind of drive a little bit, and he just sticks his arms up and he scores type
Now,
shit.
I don't know if I could, before we get to Merritt and Sean on that as well, because I know that everybody wants to know what's going to happen with Giannis. I don't think they necessarily, because you're right, they kind of develop their players. Draymond, I've loved him since he's been at Michigan State. I think the funny thing is too about Draymond, you only hear fans talk bad about Draymond. You don't ever really hear any players talk bad about Draymond. Draymond is the ultimate glue guy. They got to
Yeah.
keep him, but I mean, if you could get a Giannis. Yeah, Giannis isn't, he's a pretty good teammate too, but I don't think they complement each other all that well. Just Giannis is, I mean, Steph can still catch and shoot the ball. Giannis, he doesn't need the ball to be dominant, and I know he would definitely see less touches with Milwaukee, but I don't think they complement each other. Whereas, like, if you had LeBron and Steph playing together, LeBron has been dying for real shooters his whole career, and if he has Steph Curry out there, like if we see him at the Olympics, it's
Yeah.
all hell's gonna break loose. But what do you guys think, Merritt or Casey and
Well,
Sean?
so you brought up this is Giannis's LeBron year, right? To an extent, I see where you're
Uh-huh.
coming from, but Giannis already has his ring with Milwaukee. LeBron never got that title his first go around in Cleveland. Sure, he got there in 07 when he got swept by the Spurs, but I don't see it quite that way. I think especially now, where if they can get that shooter, if they can build some perimeter more around that defense, it all depends on what Giannis wants. Of course, he can get that supermax. He can get anything he wants with Milwaukee. But I think it's really going to come down to how they perform, of course, within. I don't think they have to win the title for him to stay. I really don't.
Make it to the
But
Yeah.
finals.
they have to at least get to the conference finals this year. Otherwise, I could see him stepping out for sure. I still don't compare it to LeBron's first score on
Hmm.
Cleveland because, like I said, he got that title. Where where would you think would be almost the best fit for Giannis? I heard maybe someone argue Golden State. I can't quite see that. I don't think that's the
Everybody's a
best
fit at
fit for
Golden
him.
State.
I don't I I don't think that's the best fit for him.
I would I mean, maybe maybe New York. I mean, well, because the another teams on the list were like the Pelicans, the Pelicans have been kind of the team that Denver has actually turned out to be, which is a bunch of young potential that they just can't seem to put together, whether it's hurt or whatever. Denver did. Maybe the Pelicans makes a lot of sense.
I think the best fit for Giannis is the Heat.
The Heat, you think so?
I think so.
I mean, but if they get Lillard, though, that's they could make some. I mean, the rest of the roster is, not. They could probably make some moves, possibly get Giannis at some point. I could see it happening. It's a good.
But who would they have to give up? Because they're gonna have to give up big names.
Bam, Tyler Hero. They'd give up them.
Tyler Hero's already gone if they get Dame.
Oh yeah, Hero's gone if they get Dame. No question about it.
He's in the package deal for Dame, so like.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
When's that trade actually gonna happen?
Never.
Right? Never. The day before basketball starts.
Dame stalled the entire market just by his inability to make a decision. I think the Heat is a really good one, though, because you pair him and Jimmy Butler up. Jimmy Butler is the ultimate intangible guy. That Heat team this last year in the playoffs was one of my favorite teams to watch because they just beat teams into submission. I mean, Boston, I think it's absolutely hilarious the way they trolled Boston. Let their ass come all the way back and then beat the dog shit out of them.
Why are you bringing up poor memories?
Sorry.
I think that team with Eric Spoelstra, they may need one more piece, but you could be talking about a potential dynasty.
That piece could be Giannis. Now, truthfully, I don't think Giannis is leaving Milwaukee.
Well, the funny thing is, Giannis said
he wanted
more talent around him, but his fucking brothers were occupying 2 roster spots, and his brothers were both trash. I think one of them just
trash.
Trash.
Not even NBA caliber player trash.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Sean? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
Oh no, you're good. I was just wondering what Giannis's relationship was with the Milwaukee Bucks organization. Like, is there any beef or anything to get along with everybody?
I don't think it's necessarily beef. Not like he loves the city of Milwaukee, but that also seems like more or less the type of person Giannis is. He's a very humble. I mean, I've watched his extensive videos, read stuff. Very humble, very gracious, very thankful. I mean, because he came from Greece, he came to the NBA. He was sleeping in the gym and shit because he was just scared. It was on 2. He was scared to go home, is what I remember the 2K commentators saying. But it was like New America was a whole new world, and they embrace him in Milwaukee. They love him, and he loves them right back. And I don't haven't heard.
That's why I don't think he's leaving.
You think? See, he definitely seems like he could be, one of those players who does stay loyal. But I mean, Dame is the guy that for the longest, calling out other players that leave. But Dame is even saying now that, bro, the organization does not give a shit about
different for Dame though, because he's never gotten that ring.
Yeah,
Giannis has his ring now. Obviously, it's 2 or 3 years ago now. They beat Phoenix in 6. That's fine, whatever. But he has that ring, and I don't think anyone's going to sit here and argue that Milwaukee's not at least a top 3 team in the East right now, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask y'all this. So, what if Dame does stay in Portland for that year because he still got 1 more year before he could really just leave. So, what if he does leave and Giannis's year that he's supposed to re-sign or move to another team? What if he re-signs and Dame signs with Milwaukee? You think they win the chip?
Damon, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd put him as the favorites for sure. I would absolutely put them with Dame and Giannis. Yeah, I would put them as the favorites, especially if they were able to retain Chris Middleton.
Mm-hmm. So
you can't guarantee championships for anybody, of course, but I would absolutely put them as favorites.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many plays here, though. Like, that's what. It's crazy. Like, the NBA trade season and shit is going to go wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think Dame's going to start the season in Portland. Like, I don't think he's going to get traded before the season starts.
When's the trade deadline start? Or the
February,
NBA trade season?
February, something like that.
It's in March, isn't it? Isn't it a couple weeks after the All-Star break?
Maybe March, but it's sometime right after the All-Star break. But as far as super teams, man, like maybe you're right. Maybe Vegas probably would put them as the favorite, but I mean, you don't know what's happening with injuries. I mean, shit, they got KD, Kyrie, and James Harden to play together. Didn't do a fucking thing. I mean, granted, they had like 120 different lineups they ever play with, but you got to see who's going to stay healthy. I mean, granted, though, they probably, if they would have stayed
It's a
healthy,
mystery.
it's a mystery. But with like people look at LeBron and the Heat and just because granted they lost the first year, but the Heat were just rolling people. You have to have the right chemistry. Because look at Boston. Now, granted, you could go down the roster and maybe argue that Miami was talented at other positions, but who on the Miami team was more talented than Brown or Tatum? Not a person. And they still got their ass smacked. Tatum and Brown are better than anybody Miami has, including Jimmy Butler.
You could argue Jimmy Butler is more talented than Jaylen Brown. Not than Tatum, but
that's because they got a good coach.
That's crazy though. That's crazy because Jaylen Brown. Okay, I guess you're saying talent, but Jaylen Brown is way more consistent than Jason Tatum.
No, he's not.
He's not.
No, I wouldn't say Brown is more consistent than Tatum. Maybe you could argue the every night point, but if we're talking in a 7-game playoff series, I think Tatum's more consistent. You could argue the regular season, sure.
But hell nah. Even playoffs, you could see it because Jaylen Brown showed up to be like, those teams and shit. In the last 2 years, Jason Tatum showed up, or Jason Tatum didn't, and Jaylen Brown did. Like, how you gonna
Jason Tatum dropped 70 in Game 7 against Philadelphia and 46 in Game 6 against Milwaukee last season.
Jaylen Brown turned the ball over 8 times in Game 7. I love Jaylen Brown. I think Tatum is. Wait, what was the argument? More consistent? I don't know, man. There were some points this year where Tatum just kind of, but Jaylen Brown, like, they're yin and yang. Tatum maybe slightly better. The only reason Brown got all that money is because he was all NBA. Otherwise, I don't know, man. It's very. I like that they have Jaylen Brown for if Tatum has a bad night, but I feel a lot. And even though I have at times, and Jason will tell you, I have flip flop between who's better because Jaylen Brown looks awesome sometimes. I'd rather start a franchise with Jason Tatum 10 times out of 10 than Jaylen Brown. And the Celtics were also. I just feel like they were all gaggle fucked. I don't think their chemistry was very good. They didn't look hungry, man. Maybe now that they got rid of Grant Williams.
I don't think it's their chemistry. I think it's more like. The NBA is more like a one-on-one sport now. Like everybody tries to take the ball for themselves. Like there's not as much passing. There's not as much ball movement. So like, but when you get ball movement to be a key in your offense, there's nobody beating you.
Yeah, but Tatum might be a better passer than Brown too. And Tatum is a far and improved passer. The thing about Jason Tatum is, I think we talked about this last show too. We kind of every year are like, oh wait, this is it. Tatum's finally gonna make that jump. And there was a point last year where Tatum was like top 3 in MVP, but like Tatum was killing people. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's like I don't necessarily think Brown is better. It's just I'm kind of glad they do have Jaylen Brown because Tatum has had some awful performance. Let's not act like Tatum hasn't shot them out of games multiple times either. But
everyone has those performances.
What was the one game he shot? Like, I don't know if it was last play. I don't have the stats up in front of me, but he shot like he shot them out of the game. I don't remember when exactly it was, but he shot out.
I know what you're talking about. Game 6, but what did he do in the fourth quarter? Took the fucking game over.
Oh, yep, that was Game 6. Yeah, no, he did. It against Philly, right?
Yeah, he played awful the first 3 quarters and absolutely dominated the fourth quarter.
Well, I mean, the Celtics are a different story. I mean, you guys kind of got to get. I mean, did Derek White just leave? Maybe he's still there.
No, Marcus Smart left. We still have Derek White.
Right. He's going to Memphis.
So what do y'all think y'all need to win the chip?
This is gonna sound so cliche. Toughness. And I know it's cliche, but it's a God's honest truth.
That's exactly what
the Celtics
sound like Mark Jackson.
The Celtics, talent-wise, can match up with anybody in the league.
I feel you, toughness. Yeah, no, that you're right. It's cliche, but that's a very good word to use because the Celtics, I'm sure you watching all them damn playoff games, they're great front runners. They get a big ass lead. Oh, they look good. They get a little bit of adversity. And they just crumble. Fall apart. And we saw it in Game 7 because that's why I was saying, man, and I'm so mad that I went against myself. I was like, if it goes to Game 7, Heat are going to win. I fucking flopped and went Boston. But the thing is, like, okay, Game 1, pressure was probably on the Celtics because they're expected to win. Same thing with Game 2. Game 3, they're really expected to win. They lost all 3 of these. By the time Game 4 came around, we thought they were going to get swept. So they roll off 3 in a row, but then Game 7 at home, pressure's on them, and they get their ass kicked again. So
Absolutely.
it's a lack of mental toughness, man, because we see the type of players they had. With Marcus Smart, man, when you have a guy who's that engaged and who's that in everybody's face, and you're still not tough enough, it speaks a lot for your culture, whatever the fuck they're doing there. Because Miami had that culture, Miami had that dog. I mean, you look at Pat Riley, Spoelstra, just great organization. The Celtics, obviously, the second greatest organization in the history of basketball,
First
but.
greatest, but
Yeah, you guys really haven't done shit since the 80s, though. You guys have one championship since the 80s. The Lakers have 6.
that's fair. That's fair.
But
It's like I said to you, Ian. It's like I said to you. I think it was last show or the show before. The Celtics win games by out-talenting their opposing team. I don't think Joe Mazzulla is a great coach. They're never going to scheme and beat you. It's their talent.
I think Boston needs a real floor general.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had that in a while since Rondo. I mean, right?
Yeah. Like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown should not. You know what also fucked up Boston? This positionless basketball, because now they all think they're point guards versus like actually having a floor general that really knows how to pass, really knows how to create offense.
I agree 100% with that.
I think Smart. I mean, Smart, granted, isn't a pure point guard.
Smart's not a point guard. He a shooting guard.
I say no. Smart's a point guard. He's just not.
He's not a great passer. He's not a great
He makes the right pass, but he's not.
He makes the right pass, but he's not a great passer. Like he makes the right pass because it's open and it's clear. Yep. It's not like he can't find that pass.
Yeah, but he's
like,
also.
If you had a point guard like Jalen Brunson, he shoot for himself, but he also knows how to find that shot, find the space in the floor. Like, you need a real floor general. And Jason Tatum is a small forward, power forward. Jaylen Brown's a shooting guard and a small forward. Like, that's not a point guard. You need a point guard.
The crazy thing especially about today's NBA too, there's not too many floor generals left right now. There's a couple.
Yeah, there's not many. There's really not.
I mean, who is even left as a floor? I mean, I can't even shit.
Chris Paul.
Right.
Yeah, Chris Paul.
Is Rubio still in the NBA?
No, he retired.
I was gonna say I can't. I mean, just as far as floor.
Would you want to classify Steph Curry?
I do, but he don't need the ball either, though. He could be a shooting guard if he wants to come off screens. But
yeah, no, exactly.
But he does have that floor general presence. Mm-hmm. So like, he's like kind of
Dame.
Like
you could argue Dame.
Yeah, Dame is score first, but you can argue because when I say floor general, a point guard's not supposed to think about scoring first. They're supposed to get everybody else involved.
Dame, you're thinking of the Rondos, the John Stocktons. Right. Those are that's what you're talking.
Chris Paul,
yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I think De'Aaron Fox.
That's a De'Aaron Fox. One.
That's a really good example. I agree with De'Aaron Fox.
Underrated, one of the most underrated players in the NBA. That dude is insanely quick.
Yeah, he's fast. Fucking who else is there?
That's it though.
That's Lonzo. Lonzo could be. He's just always injured.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing about because you were saying earlier with positionless basketball, it's like Steph Curry, for better or worse, changed the NBA because point guards don't. I mean, D'Angelo Russell, I think is another one. D'Angelo Russell is a floor general, but when it comes,
cool.
I would not say D'Angelo Russell is a
floor. Like, I probably maybe back in his Brooklyn days, but not no more. Like He'd be making the dumbest plays.
We're overlooking one, and he's not even actually a point guard, but LeBron.
Nah, LeBron should play his position too. He has that floor general, yes, but the positionless basketball has fucked up basketball.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is, LeBron has the talent to be a floor general,
and he's the best passer.
He has it. Yeah.
And he's the best passer in basketball.
Yeah, that's true.
The best passer in basketball, you think? Shit, I can't. But better. I don't know why I just questioned you on that. I think.
I know who else is going.
It goes Magic, and then some people say LeBron all time. You might be able to. I mean, he hasn't had no shooters and how long, but Magic, man, like Magic would do. You watch Magic highlights, and it's still like, holy shit. Even the full game. I'm just saying highlights, but you watch the full games, and Magic is out there pointing people out, pointing out positions.
Absolutely.
I mean, like a point guard's supposed to do, but I don't know. It's just positionless basketball. Like I kind of get the thing LeBron play your position, but if he's the best passer they have, and he still has Anthony Davis out there, White Jesus, he has Austin Reeves. Hopefully he has another decent year. But I mean, he is the best passer the Lakers have. It's kind of hard to tell LeBron, yo, just go play on the wing when he's the best at setting guys up. I mean, nobody can throw lobs better than him. LeBron will make the simple pass. LeBron will make the flashy pass, and he'll still bully over your biggest player to get to the basket. Best player of all time. Let's not even get into that discussion. I know that'll lead us to another 3 hours.
Yeah, did you finish Winning Time season 2, Ian? I know you watched that.
I didn't watch a single season of it. I heard that.
I thought you watched the first season. Oh yeah, that's just pretty good.
I did.
You guys all should watch it.
What was it?
They just canceled it.
It wasn't. The ending of it was the season finale. I don't know why people are saying that it was canceled. The show was already like set up. The way it finished.
What show was this?
Winning Time. Have you seen it, Merritt?
Mm-hmm.
HBO, I think it's about the Los Angeles Lakers during like the the Showtime Lakers, pretty much, and like behind the scenes. But Jerry West was mad because they portrayed him to be a fucking asshole, like an asshole. I'm sure he was a little bit, but I mean it's HBO, man. It's for entertainment. It's if you've
some
never
of it's
watched
exaggerated
on HBO. Like HBO is the best play because there is no censors. Have any of you guys ever seen Eastbound and Down?
Yes, I love that show.
That is my favorite fucking show of all time, bro. It's Will Ferrell in I think season 2 or 3, because it's HBO, man. So there's no no filters. But Will Ferrell in one of the seasons plays like a car kingpin, a car dealership kingpin, but he's low key like a slave master. And he just, oh my god, bro. But Danny McBride, it's like I can't even explain to you how inappropriate the show is. Like
It's such a good show, though.
Oh my god, what do they say? How do you feel about going to New York? Oh, you mean Jew York? That's like one of the first scenes of the show. It sets the tone for the rest of the. One of my favorite quotes he had, and I wrote this shit on my wall, is why would I lift weights? That shit's heavy. Eastbound and Down, bro. I can't believe you guys have never seen that shit, bro.
Why would I lift weights? That shit's heavy. Like,
hey, funny thing is, now that we're on to the topic, you said some shit to me when we were like, I don't remember what we were talking about, but you were like, I don't want to go work out. Like, that shit's just, it gets me tired. Like, I'm like, that's a good ass point. Like, I'm doing all this shit for no motherfucking reason. I mean, you look at it now and it's like health. You got to get stronger in case somebody try to fuck with your kids. But back then, I was wasting all my time trying to get bigger for a basketball career that never panned out.
Nah, I don't know. I don't like being sore, but like working out ain't all bad, bro. I be trying to do a little bit here and there.
Oh yeah, me too. And it is good for your health, but I just thought that shit was I thought it was funny. But so Jason's new to the show. Before we get on to the question, did anybody else have anything on the agenda that you guys wanted to discuss? I feel like it's been a pretty entertaining show.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Let's go to the question.
What's the question?
So the question is, go ahead and explain it to him, Merritt, while I come up with the question.
Is Kobe better than LeBron? Yes, sir.
Well, the answer to that one is absolutely not. But the question is, so we have this thing at Mixed Reactions where every week we rotate, and one co-host will ask the other two co-hosts a question that we have no idea what's coming. And there's such a vast variety of topics that this can cover. Last week was mine. Ian, you're up, man. What's your question?
Okay. So I had it written down because I had a whole list of them. Give me 1 second, fellas. Live content.
This man's got a list.
I got a list of questions.
He's
not playing around.
Question. He said, "Man, this is more than what?"
My keyboard. Okay, there we go. Who is the most overrated athlete ever in any sport?
Ooh, I'm gonna sit on this one. Someone else go first.
I think we all got to sit on that one.
Yeah,
That's a
I
tough
think
question.
we all low key kind of. Fuck, who would be?
Man, you hit us with a crazy one, man. I wasn't trying to work my brain.
Mine
that
is
much
probably gonna make people a little bit upset.
Who's the most
Kobe
older?
Bryant.
Fuck no.
It's a good answer. That's a really good answer.
I mean,
It's not.
it's like I get Kobe part of my childhood.
His skill goes unspoken for.
We all talk about Kobe's skill. I don't think nobody denies Kobe's skill, but he didn't win nothing without power or Shaq.
Bro, but LeBron didn't win nobody without D Wade and fucking Chris Bosh and Ray Allen and Shane Battier.
He's won 2 titles without them.
Well, he's won 2 titles without them, and
Kyrie.
LeBron was also Finals MVPs on every single one of those teams. Shaq won 3 of them.
Yeah, because
Kobe
Shaq
wasn't even the best
dominant
player on his
person.
team when he won those first 3 rings. I've said that all along. Shaq was.
Got crazy.
I think I got mine.
Hold on. So you think for the first Lakers run, that first 3-peat, you think Kobe was better than Shaq?
I don't think he was
That's-
better than Shaq because obviously Shaq is more dominant. But
Yes.
skill-wise, yes. There's no doubt in anybody's.
Sure, skill-wise, but that doesn't.
But that's why that's what makes you the best, though. Not how many points you put up, not how dominant you are, but how skillful you are. Like.
Then how are you
Hold
arguing
on, hold
Kobe's
on,
better
hold
than Braun?
Hold on. So
Yeah.
because Kobe's
I love it.
skills was still way better than LeBron's. LeBron
It
got
does have
chased
to do
down
with
blocks. LeBron got chased down blocks, yes, but as far as on-ball defense, he's just average. Kobe had an all-star defensive 5 years or 4 years.
Merritt, or Casey, let me cook. real quick.
But
Go ahead.
Go for it,
At
Ian.
the-
Cook.
Go ahead,
Go
Jason.
ahead.
No, go ahead. I didn't know you were
I
still
was gonna
talking, my
say
bad.
something. Oh, I was gonna say. So how you gonna say Jason Tatum is better than Jaylen Brown, but Jaylen Brown is putting up better numbers and better, like he's better every night, not just some nights.
I mean, his numbers really ain't. I mean, we could break down the numbers. Pretty sure Tatum averages more assists and more points. Might be barely, but Tatum is still up there. But as far as getting away from,
Percentage and everything too, the shooting percentage and all.
yeah, but Jason Tatum,
Because Jaylen Brown, he does have off-ass games too, but his off games ain't as bad as Jason Tatum's.
well, yeah, but right now though, we're having more of a legacy conversation. Maybe at the end of their careers, if Jaylen Brown
No,
just
you
really
said
goes on a tear.
you
Go ahead.
that Shaq was better than Kobe, but Jason Tatum is in Kobe's shoes because he's more skillful than what Jaylen Brown is.
Shit, look at Shaq's numbers.
But Jaylen Brown is the one that's basically leading the team every night. And
Shaq
Jason
was
Tatum
leading-
just comes around every so often and scores 70 or scores this or scores that. Like, how you gonna say that?
Shaq had 3 people guarding him at a time, and
Bro,
it does come
Shaq-
down to domination.
Okay, put Kobe at Shaq's size, but with still Kobe's skill. Kobe would have 3 or 4, and Kobe had 5 people guarding him. He didn't make the shot, obviously, but he still had everybody guarding him. He was still the best player because he put the work in.
Put LeBron at
Hold on.
size.
Let me clear something up here. Last year, Jason Tatum averaged 30. Jaylen Brown only averaged 26.
But that's an average of 26 every night. Jason Tatum
averaged 30. He averaged
scores
30.
Hold on, but some nights he only scores 14, and then he'll come out and have a 50-point game. So you can't put that when Jaylen Brown is doing 26 every night.
I get what you're saying is Jason Tatum. He only has a higher average because he has way bigger nights, but Jaylen Brown scores more.
He's more consistent.
Less low
more
games.
consistent.
That's what he's trying to say.
More consistent. Yes.
Okay, hold on. This is veering off way.
I know. I know.
I knew I should have said Kobe.
And I love it. Don't get me wrong, but we still have 3 other answers to get to.
All right, we'll get to this. I don't know, man. I'm kind of ready to cook on it. You know what? Because if I go and talk about
it's hard to even think of any other sports because we're on this one. But
Okay, hold on.
got
I
mine.
think this was Ian's point as far as Kobe. I just want to say this real quick. I think the reason Ian said Kobe is because before Kobe's passing, God rest Kobe, by the way, there's no disrespect at all intended. A lot of people had Kobe where he should be ranked, which is anywhere between 7 to 10 in the all-time top 10. Since Kobe's passing, he has been elevated to a stratosphere of top 5, top 3. And if you look at the actual top 5, he doesn't belong. He's not that echelon player. He's not Jordan. He's not LeBron. He's not Kareem. He's not Magic.
Not Bird.
He's not Bird. I even have Tim Duncan over Kobe in my top 10.
Now I will say one thing about Jason.
Jason
has never wavered from that. Before Kobe died, he still had him number 1. So I will say that. But it's like Kobe just I don't know, man. I mean, I can
unspoken for because of all the bad. Nobody sees the good because of all the bad that he had. Like Kobe didn't have shooters, didn't have nobody on his team either.
Wait. How can you say that nobody sees the good if they have him in the top 10? There's been over 5,000 NBA players in the history of this game. I have him at 7th. That means I think Kobe Bryant is better than 49,900.
That's because you know what he has done and how he has affected the game. But you're not going for all of his skill because at the end of the day, the off the court, on the court, all that goes into play, bro. Like
I don't think anything off the court into play.
Me either.
Nothing.
You can murder your kids and still be the best running back ever. Shout out O.J. Simpson. Or he didn't murder his kids. He murdered his wife. Shout out O.J. Simpson. Go ahead.
Whoa, that's.
I don't think anything off court situation. Nothing. All right. Before we go too crazy, who else? Who wants to go next?
All right, Jason. Who's your or Sean? Go ahead.
Yeah. Mine's Brett Favre.
That's a good one.
Was a really, really good player, but the dude was an interception machine.
The gunslinger.
Now I got to change mine.
Was it really going to be Brett Favre?
Yes, it's Brett Favre.
Yeah, no, and the thing about
Sean.
Brett Favre, though, that's a really, really good one because he was a guy to where, I mean, shit, he was a household name. That's like probably one of the only 3 fucking NFL players my mom knew. She used to call him Brett Favre. Like as a joke, she knew his name. Love my mom. But yeah, like he was a household name, man. Like everybody wanted that 4 jersey. Like everybody wanted to be Brett Favre. And now it's like, I mean, or not now, but he just threw so many. I mean, shit, Vikings would have went to beat the Saints, man, if he didn't throw a pick. Like how many big games has Brett Favre thrown with 1 ring, by the way? He does have what, like 5 MVPs, I think. But yeah, Brett Favre is a really, really good answer though. I like that one for sure.
No, Merritt's got to think of it. I mean, you can stick with the same answer. You don't want to be lame.
Before we get to Merritt, since Merritt...
Actually, I got
you do got one. Okay, go ahead. Then we'll go to Jason after that. Go ahead.
This is super old school. So, actually, I'm not going to say him because it's too old school. I was going to say Joe Namath because he ended up throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. But, and then, of course, he had a losing record overall. But I can't say that because I didn't get to see him play. So, I'm going to have to go with Eli Manning.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The reason I'll say Eli is because if you take away the 2 amazing playoff runs that he has, of course, he beat, Mr. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. in the Super Bowl twice. So that's obviously a huge mark on his resume. Obviously, he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. But would he have had the longevity he had? Would he have gotten as many chances as he had if his last name wasn't Manning? I don't think so.
Or if he didn't have a better defense? I mean, or if he didn't have a good defense.
Oh, my God. That ferocious front 4 that he had in 07 was just unbelievable.
They had Human Yora back there, too, didn't
Human Yora, Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck. They were loaded. No, not Justin Tucker.
All right, since we're on the football.
Yes and no, but I don't. I just wanted to say real quick. No, this is real quick, just to Merritt's point. I'm sure his last name being Manning had a little bit of factor, but I don't know. You don't become a Division I athlete, though. I feel like you got to do a little bit of work.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the longevity aspect, where he was in year 16, year 17, limping out onto the field and still being the Giants' starting quarterback. Would he still have gotten that care?
No.
That Gotcha. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, but he did have
like
two
him
Super
starting
Bowls.
right away and all.
No, him starting right away. No, absolutely not. And he deserved to be the number one pick. He was the best quarterback that year. He was phenomenal at Ole Miss. Not taking anything away from that aspect of it, but just the ending of his career would have played out the way that it did if his last name wasn't Manning. I don't think so. I think the Mannings carry on a legacy in the NFL where they get a special kind of treatment.
Watch for Arch.
Anyway, we were going to say, Jason.
I was gonna say, since we're on football subject, I'm gonna probably have to say like Reggie Bush.
It doesn't have to be football. It could be anything, but if that's what you want to go with, sure.
I know, but they answered football, so now I was gonna put it in football, basketball, like different sports type shit. College football, I would have to say Tim Tebow.
Yeah, see, that one is tough because Tim Tebow might be the best. He's the most decorated college football team. Now, before you get
decorated college, but then like you thought he was gonna do something later, and he just
but that doesn't concede somebody as overrated because he was never rated that high as an NFL.
We all
prospect.
knew he sucked the whole time. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Yeah,
we're talking about overrated for someone who
I always heard people talking about him, so that's why I was saying.
No, that's fair. I get that absolutely. But who's someone that you feel
like that gets a lot of love but shouldn't?
Everyone thinks is a lot better than they really are.
Past or present?
I'll just stick with Reggie Bush.
Okay.
Fair.
That's fair. Reggie Bush is a good answer.
Yeah, because I mean the thing, Reggie Bush, he had a decent pro career. Got hampered by injuries.
Yeah, he had like a decent, but how we just said, like his college career showed that he was gonna be something bigger,
For sure.
Now, as a Reggie Bush fan, as a huge USC fan, I don't even see Reggie. I could definitely see how you could put him as overrated because he might have gotten a little bit more love than he should have because of the great success he had in college. I see him more as an underachiever than I do overrated because there's no way that he was going to live up to what he did in college. But he was still a damn good NFL player, whereas Tebow was never going to live up to what he did in college because he was just a trash-ass pro, and he had Aaron Hernandez and the Pouncey brothers and Percy Harvin, Urban Meyer, but I see Reggie Bush more as an overachiever.
Wait, but Percy whatever, Ben Harvin, that nigga is actually pretty nice though.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying though. But he had those guys with him at Florida when he was playing. That's why he looked so great. When he got to the NFL, we all knew he was gonna suck. I don't see Reggie Bush get rated that high, but he definitely, he might get a little bit more love than he should, just being how great his college career is.
I was gonna say either him or Adrian Peterson.
AP's been dominating the league for years.
But he has. But then after the whole court case and shit, he didn't come back dominating. He just came back as a regular ass nigga.
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
So he still had like pro numbers.
Yeah, he sure did.
Tell me no, I'm just kidding.
He did ball out for a few more years because he played for it was the Vikings and the Saints? No. What do you play with that with Minnesota?
What year was the
Then he go to the Dolphins?
Well, he went to the Saints, then he went to the
Detroit
Cardinals,
or maybe it was the Cardinals in Detroit. Yeah, something like that.
He bounced around at the end of his career.
But yeah, like that's the two I was gonna say: Reggie Bush or Adrian Peterson.
Damn, he's still fighting that child abuse shit. Sorry about that, fellas. I just looked that up right now.
Is
this February 2022, it says.
So it was February. What year did that was like 2012, 2014?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah, 2015, the year he comes back, he gets 1,400 yards.
Oh, sure.
Then after that, he kind of had a downfall.
Oh, all right. Well, see, I knew the downfall era type shit. Because I don't be watching football.
See, here's the thing with Adrian Peterson. Sure. His first year, 1,300 yards, then 1,700, then 1,300, then 12, then 2,000.
Oh, yeah.
With Adrian Peterson in his prime is a top 5 running back of all time. But I can see why you're saying the overrated aspect of it, because after that slippage, he never, after the first great year, after the whole child abuse scandal.
He let himself go type shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like he came back kind of fat, kind of like not in shape, like like.
He seemed more forgotten to me than he did overrated because he was still doing good things in Arizona, but he just kind
Okay,
of
I could
seemed
take
like
that too.
he
I could take
fell
that.
off the map type shit. But I don't know, man. All I know, Kobe, most overrated player ever. You heard it here first, folks.
Canceled.
No. Hey, but serious, since we are done with the question, man, I heard Mel Tucker is really fighting that thing over at MSU. It seems
He
like
should.
it's not going down. He should, absolutely, especially if it's nothing but bullshit. Yeah, Jace, just catch you up to speed a little bit. Mel Tucker is
I've
the
lost track.
because I know you damn sure don't watch college football. He
Yeah,
was
I
the
don't
Michigan
watch
State
it.
coach who recently he just got was it suspended because they alleged that he had sexual misconduct with the like was it a staff or someone at the school, and Sean kind of went in, we all just kind of discussed whether it was you know Me Too movement or what the chick's true intentions were. But yeah, no, Sean, I see that he called it a sham of justice, I believe. And I thought that after that you guys were going to come out swinging. Was it this past weekend? I had you guys -10 and you guys got your fucking ass beat again. Wasn't as
Yeah.
bad, but you guys still not as bad as when you guys got fucking gang raped by Washington, but it was pretty
Yeah.
bad. You guys still
Well,
lost
actually,
early. Or maybe it's one.
they lost that game themselves. If you look at the stats, MSU had more offensive yards. They dominated time of possession. They
Against
just did
Maryland.
stupid things like drop passes.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
That game should
Maryland.
have been a lot closer than what the score. The score does not indicate how close that game actually really should have been.
And they went up early against you guys too. And then I want to say you guys got
Yeah.
because I was tracking it on my phone. I think you guys got into the red zone, but only got 3. I think right before the half.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I feel bad for Michigan State football. You guys finally look. I mean, because this is Mel Tucker, his first. His guys are seniors this year, right? His first recruiting class were all for the ones that stay were all seniors. Am I wrong? This is 4th year.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I've lost track. COVID kind of made me lose track of math that way.
But that was a good question. What's your other question, Z?
Oh no, the point of the question is it's one question at
It's
the end
just
of the
one.
yeah, it's
You
just one
said you had
question at the end of
multiple.
this
How
show.
you doing?
I don't know if I had I might have had a multiple like a follow-up question, but nah, it's just one question. Like I know a couple of weeks ago, Sean, and actually this is one before we get off. I know I keep saying and we keep going. What's one sporting event that you wish you could have gone to, but you never did? My answer was the 1986 World Series. Merritt was the Miracle on Ice, the hockey game. Sean is when Michigan State won the national championship. What's one sporting event, past or present? So it could be as recent as Errol Spence against Crawford, or it could be the Super Bowl when the Chargers. Like, what's one thing that Kobe's last game, Kobe's 81-point game. So, like, what that just gives you an idea. But what's one thing that you never went to that you wish you could have?
Damn. Probably the last season, Chargers fucking lost to the Jaguars, so then I could fire the head coach.
That's a good answer. That's a really good answer, man.
Not the kind of answer I was expecting.
I wasn't expecting you to want to be at a game that you guys blew a 28-point lead on the.
Bro, I would be like, you're out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. We got new
So,
coaching. But
Sean,
Yeah, yes, sir.
I don't know.
the question last week, Ian and I both had good answers for this one too, and I want to hear yours. It was kind of like the flip reverse effect of the question of yours. What's one sporting event that you went to that you regret going to now? That you look back and you're like, God damn, I never should have gone to that game.
Mine was the XFL Vipers.
Because you would think I would say something like.
I thought you would have said that G League game.
I did mention that. That was a close second.
You would think
I ain't
would
never
think the
been to
college
no
football
sporting
playoff
shit,
game,
so.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured your answer would be, is
But
the
I
college football
enjoyed-
game against Alabama.
I don't know. I enjoyed the experience of still going to a college football playoff game. Though.
You guys
Not
didn't
every-
score though, and you
not
drove across
everybody
the
gets-
country.
Yeah, but not everybody gets to say they went to a
Damn.
college football playoff game.
That's true. That's a really good experience. So before we get off real quick, Sean, what's your answer on that one?
Shit, man.
You guys didn't score a single point. I don't know. That would. I mean, it must be a really cool experience, but goddamn, like not even a field goal. You guys got fucked by Alabama, who then beat Clemson. So I guess it ain't as bad.
Man, that's a really good question.
I'm surprised you never asked yourself because you've been. I don't know. I know Merritt's been to a bunch of games, especially main games, but I feel like you've been to more sporting events than all of us combined.
I know the answer.
Go ahead.
2006, I want to say. Broncos versus Lions.
Oh, I forgot. I remember you telling me you were at that game. The Lions just shit on the Broncos, didn't they?
Yeah, Sean Rogers scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I know that.
Was it 2007? Yeah, the Broncos lost 44-7.
God damn! And you went there decked the hell out in your orange. What you wearing, a Steve Atwater jersey?
No, I think I was
like
wearing was Clinton Portis, 26.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, Sean Rogers scored a touchdown. Yeah, it was.
Did you say the whole game?
Rough day for my childhood.
Did you say the whole game?
I don't think I did. I think my mom got me the hell out of there before a fan tried to fight us.
Somebody tried to fight you and you were like,
no, I'm over exaggerating, but I was pretty mad.
You were probably what, like 14, 15, something like that?
Yeah, roughly.
Well, boys, on that note, it was a great show. Sean,
yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad you joined. I don't care that I was random. Jason, dude, thank you for being a guest. That was awesome.
Anytime.
Yeah, anytime.
Anytime you want to come. But yeah, since Merritt led it off,
you guys are really bad.
Wait, that shit just ended.
Well, I thought someone was gonna say something, so I just.
I was just gonna end it. I
thought he was gonna keep going, and then it just got quiet. I was like,
what I was gonna say was, well, it's always nice to have all you guys, and
absolutely.
Good night, Canada. That's what I was gonna say. Since Sean has we could just edit this shit out.
Barrett was gonna say something. Everybody was quiet.
Right?
But yeah.
All right. Till next time, mixed reactions. A big fuck you to our fans because you don't listen.
Hey, peace.
Yeah, we need more than 5 views, and I just want to say that we closed that show worse than the Chargers normally close games.
I really gotta go, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Have a good night, fellas.
All right,
you too, bro.